Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're still on the POLITY, and I am Babajide. Now, we've spoken about Ondo State, we've spoken about River State, and now let's take it to KOGI State, aftermath of the election, of course. But we can't talk about the aftermath of the election without talking about the budget that's just been passed in to the lawmakers for KOGI State. But then, analyzing all of this today with us is Dr. Sulaiman, of course, not a new face. Abdullahi, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
How are you? Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it proper. Now, the budget has been passed. What's your take in the budget that has been passed to the lawmakers?
Yes, if we have to start with the budget of, they say the budget of continuity, you look at it that it's a budget that have a differences of close to 80 billion from the previous last year budget. And I think His Excellency, Governor Abdullahi, have reasons to increase the budget, because now KOGI State is one of the oil generated revenue state in the among the in Nigeria, among the state that are generated revenue. So he is the state. KOGI State today is among the 13. Among the states that are collecting the 13% generated revenue from crude oil. So with this, if he increase the budget as against last year with about 80 billion, that is 258 billion. So that is number one. He have every reason to increase it. And you look at after the coming of Bello with the reform system in the IGR, the internal generated revenue, the revenue so far have improved from 600 million to about close to 2 billion naira per month. So looking at this, if you look at every month, the enormous monthly allocation from the federal government, coupled with internal generated revenue, whatever comes together, if you summon it up, I think he will be able to have a financial backup, physical cash, from these two sorts of revenue. And you still have other sorts of revenue in the state. When you talk of the land act use, it's other means of getting revenue for the state. And we have other means of generating revenue apart from that are not so clear to the public in the state. A lot of institutions, the mining sector is a sector that's supposed to give serious income to the state. So if all these are being harnessed, I'm assuring you, to beat this budget of 258.3 billion will be something that is going to be realistic. Because let me tell you, the expectation is high. That is number one. If you look at the just concluded election, a lot of people have been mobilized to actively participate in the electoral process, and these people will not just go down and fade down after their involvement in the electoral process, and the winner have been declared open to the public and to everybody. So these people, the electorate, they will ask a lot of 1001 questions when it comes to infrastructure, human capital development, human development, and the civil servant will have a real question to ask. Now that against all this process, we have come to show our solidarity support, our support in every aspect of governance to the government. And now the government has gotten what? A continuity. The same APC, that is to tell you, the citizens of KOGI State have shown a kind of good understanding and supportive measures through electoral process to the government. So now the expectation is how they will not go back to sit down. The civil organization, NGOs, both foreign and local, everybody will start to monitor the progress. And the progress of the state begins with the budget, because it is the budget that will interpret what really the government have intended to do. So what we are saying, the expectation is high. Actually, you have to put measures in place, because the budget, and this is the first we are having such a budget of its type in KOGI State. So all eyes will be on that budget, the implementation, the sort of revenue you see, then analyzing the budget itself, because we have from a lot of infrastructure deficit in the state up to this moment, even though the governor have tried his best within the last 8 years, but still yet, particularly, I am telling you, the state capital have been immersed for the past 19 years before the coming of His Excellency Bello. So a lot of infrastructure is needed to uplift the face of the state capital. That is number one. Number two, you have 2 new institutions, universities, and you talk of university, it's not a joke. So you need to boost this university through your budgetary allocation from what? From this budget. That's other things. And still yet, when you talk of the health sector, primary health services, delivery services in the state, you have 3 constituency. This constituency must be furnished with good health facilities that will match up to the demand of the people, because the population is increasing. Likewise, you are expected to overspread the existing health facilities. So now new ones have to be put in place, and also mobilize, and also you need to increase the welfare of the medical staff, medical workers. The same thing when you come to education. So education, the governor was able to build some model schools that are being showcased all over the place in the state. So now, how do we continue to continue with this trend of development when it comes to social infrastructure, particularly now that, look, the local people, the grassroots people now have their eyes and everything in the government. So when you are talking of this today, that budget is a budget that stands to be a budget of reality.
Okay.
Yes, but if you look at it as an agrarian state, we still need to open more sources of income to cushion the deficit of this budget, because if peradventure we have some slack or deficiency in IGR, and the government, for one reason or the other, the federal government, our allocation drop for one reason, you are going to have a very serious budget deficit. Then how do you cover up? And the expectation is high, and you have promised the citizens of the state. And now looking at the incoming government, so how will he be able to manage all these circumstances? So I believe that, look, the government will not just present this budget for just fun, but he will have looked at the available data in the state and indices on the fiscal cash backup to implement what they have put in place. If you look at in the last 4 years, since Kogi State have joined the state that are enjoying the 13% revenue from the allocation government allocation as one of the state generating contributing to the national wealth, you look at it. If you look at the last 4 years, His Excellency was able to rapidly achieve some kind of infrastructure development in roads, schools, and even in the health sector. So with this, I believe if the incoming government continue with this trend of development and expand their horizon in terms of what? IGR, because there are a lot of sources of internal revenue that are not yet tapped, and I'm very sure if they put their acts together and look at who are the core civil servants that have the experience and the hierarchy that can tell them where to invest and how to get money to back up their budgetary allocation, I'm assuring you the budget will be a budget of reality, and the concept of continuity will be a reality also. So this is what I'm saying. But if you look at also the budget and look at the population of the entire Kogi State, about 5 million. So this budget, with it, I believe that, look, we are going to make a good progress, because we are talking of 258.3 billion naira. So if you looking at the indices of the entire population of Kogi State and this budget by now, even though we have this devaluation of naira when you compare it to dollar, but we are still talking within the local cycle of the state, because we have no anything to have to with the foreign reserve or foreign exchange. So within this local content, with this budget, I think that every KOGI at the end of the day, if it is judicially expended, every citizen of Kogi State will have a reason to smile. Okay.
So in the next 7 minutes, I'd like us to quickly talk about the election itself. We'll pick it from APC to the PDP, to the SDP, I beg your pardon. And now, as of December 5th, there's this news I got where they said Kogi State has inaugurated an 11-man committee to review the outcome of the November 11 governorship election in Kogi State. Now, APC has been declared the winner. Why? How come is the APC that is still gathering a committee to, of course, review the outcome of the election. And then in all of this, there's been lots of back and forth between the SDP and APC, and then the electoral processes, they've come to bandit somehow. So it looks like, it's not just during election or before election that we have cases of violence in Kogi State. What do you think should be done better as regards all of this? And then should there be a party meeting where they just call for peace or truce? Because it looks like one party is not giving up, the other party doesn't want to give up either.
If you look at it, there is this peace accord that the former head of state, General Abdullahi, retired, and Mr. Archbishop Matthew Kuka established. And before the election proper, all political parties involved in the November 11 electoral process signed a peace accord, and they said they are going to accept the outcome of the result, and in good faith. So all these crises coming out that are emanating from the camp of the SDP, to me, it's a shock. It's a really surprise, and it's anti-democratic, and it's peace process as far as I'm concerned, and it will divide the state more than what uniting the state. Let me tell you, before I go ahead, you asked about the APC chairman, APP's chairman, constituting 11-man committee to review it. Yes, Abdullahi Bello, popular as Dollar, will have as the chairman of the APC of Kogi State have the mandate to set up his committee to review and look at their strength and weakness. So in this aspect is that, look, he wants to know those that have actually, I read that memo, whereby those that have worked against anti-party agent, they have to look at them, fish them out, and make them understand that, look, they have knew quite all right what they have done before the election and throughout the election process. So in this aspect, let them know who are the true loyalists of the party, who have really worked in the interest of the party, who are really members in the party. Not after winning the election, you look at people who want to come back and tell you, look, we are your supporters, who have done this and done that, but they work against the party. We have a lot of them. Let me mention clearly to you, like the governor himself accused him individually, openly, when he have one-on-one discussion with some of his principal officers, and he said, I knew quite all right, most of you that have done anti-party. He mentioned and called somebody that, look, you that you are down, and he brought you, sponsor you for the first time you won your senatorial election, and you're in the Senate, and he make you to won for the second time, and it has never happened in your constituency, and now you are working, calling people to tell them that they should not allow APC to have 25% from Kogi East. The governor said this directly to the senator. He didn't hide it, and he called some people by their names and told them, look, we knew quite all right what some of you have done. And this is why he said, look, he have on a strong note warned the governor elected, that, look, I will not advise you to work with most of my principal officers because they have worked against our mission and vision, and they have worked anti-party. With this is not encouraging them. This is why Bello Abdullahi have set up that committee to review and look at it. What is actually the problem? Where did they get it wrong? You understand now? Where are the loopholes? So that next coming election they should have a kind of report. So
it's not basically to review this past election, it's for the next election.
You have to review your activities in this present election to guide you against the next coming election. That is number one. The issue between SDP and PDP, let me tell you, there is this solidarity movement I watch in support of INEC, that the election is, since in the history of Kogi State, there have not been election that have been peace, free and fair and credible in Kogi, like the last one of the November 11. Now, they came out after to show their solidarity support to INEC and show their appreciation to the INEC activities, and look, we have never had it like this before. But to my surprise, from what I have had so far, SDP sent some talks to disperse these people. So it lead to a kind of conflict, crisis, of which this is what I have been trying to say, look, we have to avoid this fiscal confrontation in the state, because we are one and will continue to remain one. Elections have gone and gone, and Kogi State will remain, and this central district will have to remain and from the government. So this is it. If you look at it again, the issue of the election proper, that the SDP is challenging the outcome of the result. So now the issue here is, after after filing your what? Motion of petition, or motion of what? Of the outcome of your petition against what your opponent, then you are to file it within 21 days as stipulated. Not it. This one has gone beyond what the Electoral Act. It is enshrined in the Nigerian Constitution, Section 25 of the Constitution. Within these 21 days, you have to file your petition if you have entered through what? The Election Petition Tribunal. Good and fine. What they fail to do is that, look, from every indication that is available, that look, the SDP failed to file within these 21 days. It was on 1st October. Now, the secretary to the tribunal claimed that he received the petition from SDP in his hotel room. That is one. Number two, the same secretary to of the tribunal, that is Mike Umar. Martin's Mike Umar. Okay. David Mike Umar. Mr. David Mike Umar said on 3rd of December in his car, they attacked him and they went away with what? With his item and even the petition. Now let's look at it. How do you got this petition in your hotel room, and how does it get into your car before you have been attacked? Then a petition is supposed to be what? Supposed to be submitted in the court registry and pay some fee, then register it there and hand over through the court. Then how is it that it is now Mr. David Mike Umar that is handling the petition of SDP? And on behalf of 3 other parties, and these 3 other parties have no individual that are really representing in the petition as claimed by Mr. Mike. We just say and other 3 parties. Who are those 3 parties? That is one aspect of it. Then the other technical aspect of it, before you file any petition, you are expected to pay some fee to the judiciary before it, and this payment are to be made to remitter. Then the remitter is not showing any evidence of payment by SDP on their on their portal. So this is a very critical and sensitive issue. Let's look at it together. If the remitter you are saying is not showing any evidence of payment by SDP up to the 12 p.m. of 3rd of December and it elapses, now you are telling you file your petition, then where do you pay? Then the common sense here is that if you pay manually and you are showing receipt to show that and it's not reflected in the in the remitter as an electronic evidence to show that you are paid, then what evidence will SDP have to tell you that election beavers that are being subjected to electoral machine didn't work and correlated with with the electoral process? So if they can tell us we should not use this against them, then what legal and logical evidence do they have to challenge the beavers? Either that look manual accreditation have been done by not using beavers. Now we are questioning the same thing. You are questioning INEC on the use of beaver and now on the use of remitter. So you look at it. To me, I think let's go by it. SDP has to come back with every sense of logic and reasoning. That
we'll wrap up for today for that, and maybe next week we'll have you on the program, and then we'll continue from there because we have limited time now and that we're going to cut yourself off. So thank you very much, Dr. Sulaiman, for joining us today on the program. It's been an insightful one with you. We'll analyze KOGI State proper next week. We'll probably have a whole day for that. All right, our viewers at home, this is where we wrap it up for KOGI State today, and then of course we've spoken about Ondo State, and we move to River State and then KOGI State. Join us next week, of course, for more analysis on politics and of course anything winning on the polity. This is where I wrap it up. I remain Miss Babajide. See you same time, same station next week.